Hello! Today I'm going to be telling you about the pricing structures of the Matrixify app. Starting with our demo plan. The demo plan can be used for an unlimited amount of time for an unlimited amount of imports and exports. The only thing that you are limited to with our demo plan is the amount that you can import and export per job, which in the case of the demo plan would be 10 items per job. Then moving on to our basic plan. Our basic plan costs $20 per 30 days. But as the same with the demo plan, the only thing that you are limited to is the amount you can import and export per job. In the case of the basic plan, this would be 5,000 products, 300 custom collections, 300 smart collections, 2,000 customers, and so on. Then moving on to our big plan. Our big plan costs $50 per 30 days, as well with the demo and the basic plan. With the big plan, you can import and export an unlimited amount of times. The only thing, again, that you are limited to is the amount you can import and export in one go. The big plan limits are basically 10 times what the basic plan limits are. So that would be 50,000 products, 3,000 smart collections, 3,000 custom collections, 20,000 customers, and so on. And last but definitely not least, finishing off with our enterprise plan. The enterprise plan costs $200 per 30 days, and there are no limits to this plan. It is unlimited. So as well as being able to import and export an unlimited amount of times, you are also not limited to the amount you can import and export as well. One thing to mention about this plan, though, is that even though it is unlimited in regards to the amount of data you can import and export in the context of Matrixify, you are still subject to any Shopify limitations. So that would also include, for example, the Shopify variant creation limit. I'll touch upon this more later in the video, but just so you know that even though the enterprise plan is completely unlimited in regard to Matrixify, you are still subject to any limitations Shopify itself may have. Scrolling down on our pricing page, you'll be able to see all of the different limitations for each of our plans. So again, demo, basic, big, and enterprise. I will touch upon certain entities as well in a minute, just so you get a grasp of what actually can be exported and imported with the Matrixify app and give you a better idea of what the Matrixify app is able to do. As you can see, Matrixify is able to export products, custom collections, smart collections, customers, and companies. In regards to companies, this is a feature reserved for development stores or Shopify Plus stores with the B2B feature. So what this means is that you will only be able to import and export this data with the Matrixify app if your Shopify store has these features. Moving along, Matrixify is also able to export discounts, draft orders, pages, blog posts, redirect, payouts, and activity. The only thing to mention with payouts and activity, though, is that these are export-only entities, which means they can't be imported, but they can definitely be exported. Then scrolling down further, Matrixify is also able to export files, meta objects, menus, and shop. In regard to meta objects, these aren't actual meta object definitions, but rather the meta object entries. And those are exactly what Matrixify is able to import and export for you. Quickly touching upon shop in case anything is unclear. Shop would be all attributes and meta fields for a single store. So that can be both exported and also imported as well. And that would be it in regard to what each of our plans is able to export and import and what the limits for each of our plans are. However, in addition to this, each of our plans also have their own features. So scrolling down on this very same page, you'll be able to see all of the different features that each of our plans offer. I'll now be going through them one by one just to give you a clear idea of what each feature means. So the first feature would be no monthly limit. Now, all of the limits that I've just gone over previously are all limits in regard to the amount you can import and export per job. These are not limits to the amount you can actually import and export, meaning the amount of times you can import and export. For any of our plans that we offer, including our free demo plan, you can import and export an unlimited amount of times. Again, the only thing that you are limited to on the demo, basic, and big plan is the amount you can import and export per import-export job. So now moving on to rest fields. With all of our plans, including our free demo plan, it is possible to export meta fields. You are not limited to the amount of meta fields you can import and export per entity. And that goes for all of the plans we offer, including our free demo plan. So just to be clear here, this does not mean metafield definitions, but metafield definition values or unstructured metafields or metafields that are used for other different things. Those can definitely be exported and imported. But yes, just to be super clear, these metafields don't include metafield definitions. Then moving on to scheduling, Matrixify is also able to schedule its import and export jobs, so you can schedule the jobs to run at a certain time, and you can also schedule them to repeat, and they can repeat every minute, they can repeat daily, yearly, weekly, monthly. It's completely up to you. And once an import or export job has been scheduled to run at a certain time, for example, it will then automatically start when you have told it to. And also, if you've set the job to repeat, the app will automatically repeat the job either until you manually stop it or you cancel the job. Again, it's completely up to you, but the feature is there to schedule a job to run at a certain time and to have a job repeat as well. Moving on to the next feature, which would be sending files to an FTP or SFTP server. Matrixify is also capable of exporting files directly to these servers, and that would also be a feature of all 4 plans that we offer. This also works for import jobs as well, as when an import job has completed, Matrixify can also automatically send the import results file from that job to your FTP or SFTP server as well. And then also moving along to reading files from SFTP, FTP servers, but also from Google Drive, Google Sheets, Dropbox, and web links. So what this means is Matrixify is also able to import from these locations. Generally, any location that's able to give you a publicly available and direct link to the file that you would like to import, that would also work for import. And also, again, this goes for all of the plans we offer, including our free demo plan. The next feature that we offer is the free additional store feature. Now, what this means is that for each store that has a paid plan, we offer 1 free additional store. This means that you can have 2 stores on the same plan for the price as 1. So let's say you have a live store with the big plan. You can then link another store to this big plan so that both of the stores share that same big plan, but only for the price of 1 store. I must note, though, that you can only link 1 store per 30 days. Once these 30 days are up, you can then detach the stores and go ahead and link a new store to your paid plan. The next feature would be higher priority for feature requests. Now, this is a feature for only our paid plans, so basic, big, and enterprise. And with this, I mean that we basically add extra points to these feature requests as they hold slightly more weight. However, what I would really like to emphasize here is that even if you are using the demo plan of the Matrixify app and you do have a request or suggestion for the app, please let us know. We will definitely listen and you will definitely be heard out, and your request will not fall on deaf ears. We will definitely listen to you, and we will also make a note of the suggestion or feature request that you have made. However, just for the basic, big, and enterprise plans, the feature requests or suggestions do hold a little bit more weight than they would if you are on the demo plan. The next feature that we will be looking at is the batch import feature. Now, this feature is reserved only for the big and enterprise plans, And what this means is that when importing from a server, Matrixify will clear out the whole directory, importing all of the files that it can find there. So basically, in a batch, importing all the files that it can find in the server directory. This can be extremely helpful if you switch files in a server directory and you're not pointing to a specific file. Matrixify will just take any file that it finds in the directory instead of just pointing it to one specific file to import. And then moving on to threads working in parallel. So this again is reserved only for the big and the enterprise plan, as the big plan has 5 threads working in parallel and the enterprise plan has 10 or more threads working in parallel. And this can give a significant boost in speed when it comes to any import or export job that you may do. The demo plan and the basic plan only run on one thread. And last but certainly not least, we have parallel manual jobs. This is reserved only for the enterprise plan, and what this allows you to do is run 2 manual jobs in parallel. So 2 manual import jobs and 2 manual export jobs at the same time. That would then be it in regard to the features that we offer for the Matrixify app and for each of our plans. But then if we move down on the same page, so scrolling down, we have our frequently asked questions. I'm now just going to run through each of these questions and answers briefly so that everything is clear and understood. Starting with the very first question, so what about the Shopify daily variant creation limit? Now, Shopify has a limit for non-plus stores that when you have created over 50,000 product variants, you are then limited to only creating 1,000 product variants within a 24-hour period. Now, this is a limitation that Matrixify isn't able to get around. No app is able to get around this limit. The way that Matrixify offers to deal with this limitation is by importing the next day. So say you have a big products file and you are looking to create products, but then you hit this limit. What Matrixify will do is it will automatically continue importing the next day until it hits the limit, and then continue importing the day after that and the day after that until it hits the limit, until all of your products are imported. This means that, yes, it will take a bit longer, but you don't really have to think about the process, as Matrixify is doing the importing automatically for you and thus getting your product imported. The next question would be a question that we've already gone over in the beginning of this video, which would be, what do the plan limits for Matrixify mean? I won't go over this question again, as that was covered in the first part of this video. Then moving on to the third question, what about other Shopify limitations? Now, as previously mentioned, the limitations that I showed at the beginning of the video are limitations purely to do with the Matrixify app. They aren't to do with Shopify. Any limitations outside of the Matrixify app are to do directly with the Shopify platform and cannot be controlled by the Matrixify app itself. You can find a list of all of the known limitations that we know of in our documentation, which is on this page here, and I will also link this page in the description of this video so you can get to that list as well. Also, if you are unsure of any limitations, if you have a bigger store and you have concerns around this, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. We will be more than happy to look into this for you and help answer any questions or concerns you may have in regard to these limitations as well. Then moving on to the fourth question, which would be, how often can I run imports or exports with the Matrixify app? Now, a single store can run a maximum of 20 jobs per minute, and at the same time, you can run 1 import and 1 export job. If a job will try to start while the previous one is not finished, it will get queued and start automatically once the preceding one is completed. Moving on to the next question, can I cancel my paid plan at any time? Of course you can. You can cancel whenever you would like. You are not locked into anything. The only thing to note, though, is that you will be charged for the full 30-day period. No matter how much you use the app, you will still be charged for the whole 30 days. If you do end up cancelling your plan, though, you will still be able to use the plan that you were previously on up until the end of your charge period. If you cancel your subscription plan and you then later decide that you would like to upgrade to the same plan or a different plan within the same charge period, Shopify will see this and prorate the charge for you. Or if you are upgrading to the same plan that you were previously on within the same charge period, you won't be charged double. Moving on to the next question, can I upgrade or downgrade my subscription plan? You can definitely upgrade and downgrade your subscription plan. If you do this within the same charge period, Shopify will prorate the charge for you and you will only be charged for the days you have used each plan. Shopify prorating a charge will only work if you are switching between paid plans. So let's say within the same charge period, you use the big plan, the enterprise plan, and then downgrade back to big, or if you don't even downgrade, if you just upgrade to enterprise, you will only be charged for the days you've used each of those plans within the same charge period. The next question is, when am I billed? You are billed for the Matrixify app together with your regular Shopify bill. How can you cancel your subscription? You can cancel your subscription either by downgrading to the demo plan or uninstalling the Matrixify app. Do I lose any data if I uninstall the Matrixify app? Nope, you don't lose any data at all. All data that you've imported into your store while using the Matrixify app will also stay on your store if you do decide to uninstall the Matrixify app. Can I activate a subscription plan in a development store? It's not currently possible to activate a subscription plan in a development store as Shopify does not currently allow development stores to approve charges. To be able to use a Matrixify paid plan in a development store, you would either need to activate a paid Shopify plan and approve the app subscription that way, or you can use our free additional store feature by linking your development store as a free additional store to a live store that has the Matrixify plan. And if you have any more questions or concerns, or even a feature request or suggestion, please don't hesitate to reach out to us and let us know. We will be more than happy to help you and guide you and answer any questions you may have. Just reach out to our support either at support@matrixify.app, or you can reach out to us via Slack in our Slack workspace as well. I'll add a link in the description of this video to our Contact Us page so you can easily get to us and reach out to us. And that would be it from me today. Those would be the pricing structures of the Matrixify app.